Hello everybody, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be teaching us how to draft a basic bodice pattern. Yes, I'll be teaching us how to draft a basic bodice pattern. So please, if today is the first time of you stopping by on my YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel and please like my video, drop me a comment at the end of the video. Thank you and God bless you. A returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate the love. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So to draft our basic bodice pattern, all we need is our measuring tape, we need our armhole curve, we need our ruler, we need our marker, and then we need also our scissors. Yes, so I'll be teaching us in the most simplest way as possible. Now, to draft your basic bodice pattern, all you need your shoulder measurement, you need your armhole circumference. If you do not know all these parts I am talking about and you don't know how to measure them, please kindly refer to my video on how to take accurate body measurements. It is also on this YouTube channel. Yes. So you need your shoulder measurements, you need your armhole circumference, you need your bust circumference, you need your shoulder to bust point. You also need your half length and also your half length circumference for a basic bodice pattern. So now let's get right into it. This is our pattern paper. We also have pattern papers in white color, whichever one that is within your reach. Kindly go ahead and make use of it. So I'll be working with a shoulder measurement of 14 inches. I'll be working with shoulder measurement of 14 inches. Now your shoulder measurement is 14 inches. Whatever your shoulder measurement gives you, you divide it by 2. So 14 divided by 2, this is my starting line. So every measurement I'm taking will be from this particular starting line, the edge of this pattern paper. Or rather, let's use this edge. Let's use this edge. Yeah. So now from your starting line, you just position your tape this way and measure 14 divided by 2 will give us 7 inches. So I'm just going to mark 7 inches exactly. I hope we can see what I'm doing. Let me adjust it this way. Okay, so now our shoulder measurement is 14 inches. That is the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 14 inches. This is 14 inches. Divided by 2, it will give us 7 inches. So this is what I'll be working with. Now the reason why we are dividing our measurement is because anytime we cut our fabric or anytime we want to cut a dress, we always fold our fabric into 2, or sometimes we fold into 4, but we fold into 2 and then we replicate at the end of the day. So whatever we cut for the front part, we replicate it for the back part. It's as simple as that. So I'm working with my shoulder measurement of 14 inches divided by 2, which will give me 7 inches. I'm just going to mark it at 7 inches. So now I want to decide what kind of neckline I want to make use of. I'll just make use of a round neckline. So I will work with a neckline of 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to work with, for the width, I will make use of 3.5 inches, and then for the depth, I will make use of 4 inches. Now you can just go ahead, take your armhole curve, and then place it rightly on the both line. Make sure you connect the line very well and make sure the curves are lined properly. And then I'm just going to go ahead and curve it this way. Now after getting our neckline, the next thing we want to do is to get our shoulder slant. The human body shoulder is not straight, it is slanted. So to get that shoulder slanted, we just at this edge we are going to mark 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch. So that 1 inch, I'm going to connect this line to this point. Just go ahead and connect it this way. After connecting it this way, we have gotten our neckline measurements as well as our shoulder slope. Now the next thing we want to do is we are going to replicate. We are now going to impute our armhole measurement. Now the armhole circumference I'm working with is also 14 inches. Your armhole circumference can be different from this. So try and measure by taking your tape around the armhole to get the accurate measurement. So this one coincidentally happens that the same measurement for the shoulder is the same thing as the armhole. There are cases like that, but don't assume. Ensure to measure and get the right measurements. So the armhole circumference I'm working with is 14. So I'm going to divide that 14 again by 2 inches. By 2, sorry. So 14 divided by 2 will give us 7. So I'm going to mark it at the point where I have 7 inches. Now I'm going to take my tape rule and measure again. Whatever I have here, I'm going to transfer it to this point where my armhole measurement is, so that I can be able to create a straight line. So I'm just going to connect the line from this shoulder slope downwards to the armhole point. Now don't forget, this is where our 7 inches is. Now on this 7 inches, I'll go ahead and impute the bust circumference. Now the bust circumference we are working with is 33 inches. 33 divided by 4 will give us 8.25. 33 divided by 4. Now the bust circumference is divided by 4, not by 2, that we earlier used for the shoulder and also the armhole. So now let's go ahead. 8.25. That is what our bust circumference is giving us. So I'm just going to create a straight line to that point. Then to get my armhole, I will go ahead and place my tape rule around this shoulder point to this point. Then I'm going to mark the middle of it, which is 3.5. Then I'm going to take my tape rule and mark ½ inch inwardly. So I have marked ½ inch inwardly. So now I'm going to place my armhole curve, and I'm going to ensure that it touches this point, it touches this edge point, it touches this edge point, and it also touches this ½ inch point. So that's exactly what we'll make sure we do. Now, as you can see, it is touching both points. So I am just going to go ahead, and then I'm going to mark the shape out. Now we have got our armhole already. Now the next thing we want to do is we are going to go ahead and we are going to take our vertical measurements. Let's go ahead and take our vertical measurement. And the next vertical measurement, the vertical measurement we will be taking now is our shoulder to bust point. That is your shoulder to the nipple point. And our shoulder to the nipple point is 10 inches. So I'm just going to mark it there. Then the next one you need to mark is your shoulder to the half length. Now the half length of this particular outfit is, of what we are making use of, is 16 inches. Can you see? So I will just go ahead and draw a straight line. Ensure that your ruler is straight enough. I will just go ahead and draw a straight line, and I will also label it so that we can know what each of these lines stand for. Now this is our bust point. You can just label it as BP. And then this is our half length. More like our natural waist. Some people call it the natural waist. Now we have gotten our vertical measurement already. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to get our bust span to be able to create our dart. Yes, we need to get our bust span to be able to create our dart. Now the bust span is the same thing as your nipple point to the next nipple point. Now the nipple point, nipple to nipple or bust span or bust point for this particular pattern drafting we are doing is 7 inches. Now you are going to divide that 7 inches into two. This is 7 inches. You divide it into two, and it will give us 3.5. This is 3.5. So I'm going to mark 3.5 from this bust point area. I will mark it like this, and I will also mark it downwards. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a straight line on that point. Can you see? We have created a straight line for our bust, our for our dart. Now the next thing we want to do is to determine how much we want to give to our dart. Now the least you can give to your dart is 1 inch. That is to say, half inch here, half inch here. Now I advise that you use half inch on both sides, or you use 1.5, which is 0.75 on this side, 0.75 on this side. That is, you share that one and 1.5 on both sides for the dart, or you share 1 inch on both sides, which is half inch on both sides. Now you can just easily do this by placing your tape at the middle point of whatever you decide to use. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use 0.75. Let's use 0.75, and this is the middle of my 1.5, because this is 1.5 here. So I will just use 3/4 on one side, another 3/4 on this side. Now after doing this, you will just go ahead. Now measure, one thing you should also observe, measure 1 inch below your bust point. Measure 1 inch below your bust point, then do this. Go ahead and connect your points. Now we are done creating our dart. This is how a dart looks like. Now the next thing we want to do is, and this is called a single point dart. This is what's called a single point dart. Now the next thing we want to do is to impute the remaining measurements for this particular pattern drafting, and we are done with the front pattern. Now we are going to go ahead and impute our half length circumference on this particular point. Don't forget, this is our half length point. Now we are going to impute our half length circumference measurement. So, and that half length circumference measurement too will be what? Divided by 4 inches. Now our the half length circumference we are working with is 24 inches. 24 inches. Yes. So 24 divided by 4, it will give us 6 inches. Now we are going to look for where 6 inches is, and then we'll mark. This is where 6 inches is. Now don't forget that we have made provision for that here. So whatever provision we made for that around there, we are going to measure it and replace it here, which is 1.5. Check it. We have 1.5 here. Then we would replace it back. This at the end of the day will be giving us 7.5 inches. So however, whatever number of inch you used for your dart here, make sure to replace it after measuring your circumferential measurement around this point. So the next thing to do is to connect our lines together from the armhole point, connect it back this way. Now this is how the front pattern looks like. We are done creating the pattern for, that is basic bodice pattern for the front pattern. Now I'm just going to go ahead and label it front pattern. So I'm just going ahead to label the front pattern as the front pattern. So all we have to do now is to cut out this part, and then cut it out. Please kindly follow me as I am cutting so that you will know where to cut and where not to cut. So this is our front pattern we have cut out. Now let's cut out the back pattern. Now don't forget that the back pattern is the part that has the zipper on it. The back pattern is the part that has the zipper. So let me just reduce this because this is more than enough. Okay. Now let's cut out the back pattern. Now the back pattern is the part that that carries the zipper allowance. So all we have to do is, first of all, let's create how many inches do we want our zipper allowance to have. Now your zipper allowance can range from 1 inch, 1.5 inch to 2 inch. Do you understand? So now, but I always advise that as beginners, try and add up to 2 inches, between 1.5 to 2 inches for your zipper allowance. So I'll be making use of 2 inches. Now what I'll have to do is I'm going to measure 2 inches from the edge to the down part to create a straight line so that it can guide us. So now I'm just going to go ahead and create a straight line. Now we have created our zipper allowance, so I'm just going to label it. Now this is our zipper allowance. Now you're going to just go ahead and place the front pattern at exactly the line where your zipper allowance is, and make sure it is properly placed. Now after doing that, now for your back part, the neckline, you can decide that you want your neckline, the neckline at the back, to be deeper or to be the same depth as the front, or to be higher. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I will be making use of a deeper neckline. Sorry, I'll be making use of a higher neckline so that you can have an idea of how it should be. Now kindly note that the width of the neckline still remains the same. It's just the depth that we are changing. So for the depth of our neckline, since this is our starting point, let me just place my ruler there so that it can be stable. Since this is our starting point, I will just go ahead and measure 1 inch here. I'm making use of a high neckline, 1 inch at this point. Now I'll just go ahead with my what is it called? My armhole curve, and then I will just make sure that my armhole curve is touching this 1 inch point, as well as the point where the width of the neckline of the front stops. Be careful while doing this so that you can have accurate measurements at the end of it. So this is the depth of our neckline after cutting it. I mean after measuring it out. Now the back part, every other thing about the bodice here is still going to be the same thing. Now the only difference we are going to be doing now, there is a technique I want to teach us so that you can master it as a beginner from now, so that at the end of the day you will be having a nice finishing at the end of the day. Now there's a technique to remove that bulging effect at the back part of your zipper area. Now you will see some dresses, the front is so beautiful, but when you look at the back of that dress on the person, you will see that folding effect on the zipper area around the waist area. That is not looking nice. Now I'm going to teach us how to get rid of that kind of effect at the end of the day when you are sewing. Now this is what you have to do. From your zipper allowance at this end point, where um your the point where your half length is, just go ahead and try to blend the line together here so that you can have a straight line blending outwardly first of all. Now after doing that, all you have to do is you are going to take your measuring tape and then you measure 0.75 inch. 0.75 inch is less than 1 inch, so that is 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch. I will just go in by 3/4 inch and I'll measure it like this. Now after measuring it like this, I will take my ruler and then I'm going to slant it upwards. Don't forget that the back is not straight. That is why we need to create this effect. The back is not a straight line. If you look at the back of a human body, you will notice that there is a point where the back goes inward like this because of the bum. Yes, so that's for our dress to follow that effect, that shaping of the back that way. That is why we need to remove from it and ensure that we tighten up the any form of excess space around the zipper area on the waist aspect, on the waistline. And that is the reason why we are removing 0.75, so that the zipper can lie flat following the shape of the back and not bulge. Do we understand? So just what is left for us to do is just to go ahead and then we are going to follow the shape of the front pattern that we have cut before. Ensure that your front pattern is well aligned. This kindly, you can put something to hold it in place as well, and then you cut. Now for this particular side, you can just draw a straight line outward for the neckline so that you can have a blended yes, so that you can have a blended neckline around the zipper area. So that's all you have to do. So I will just go ahead and cut it now. So please watch me and ensure that your pattern paper does not shift here and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place something on it like this so that it can be in place. Now don't forget, you are still going to observe your dart at the back as well. So just watch as I go ahead with this. Sorry about the dark mode. The light just went off. gently turn, and then you go ahead and trace the down part. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to cut out that zipper effect that we created. Now we are, just watch the cuts from this point, follow the line and cut upwards. Can you see? We are done cutting this. Now, for you to be able to create your dart for the back, all you just have to do is try to trace the front dart on the back part. On the back part. How do you do that? Just go ahead and mark the line for your dart on the front for the back. Then we'll go ahead and create our dart. Now, this is the point where our dart is, our bust point. So just go ahead and mark the straight line. Then our dart is 3.5, just like I have already explained earlier to us that you divide your bust point by 2. So let's create our line. Let's create our line. Draw a straight line, connect the lines together. Come down by 1 inch. For the back, you can decide not to come down by 1 inch. But for the front, there is a reason why you come down by 1 inch, because of the bust. You understand? Because of the bust. So now, let's give our dart allowance, which is 0.75, that is 3/4 of both sides. So let's connect it this way, and then this other one too.